getting caught in a firefight with with these people in Syria. 500 American soldiers died, and Trump would be like, "How did 500 soldiers die when there were only 200 people there?" Right, and he has to go he has to vow revenge. Like Trump would go on Twitter like, "I'm vowing revenge for the 500 soldiers lost in Syria who weren't supposed to be in Syria." Like, I say, what would they have done? Nothing. They would be happy. They would be happy for 500 soldiers to die so they could get their escalation in Syria. And I'm just, I hate them so much, Dan. I hate them so much.
And again, what are the consequences?
Nothing. There'll be no consequences for these people, right? And if we lived in a real country, okay, I mean, honestly, speaking of Stalin, there is a way to deal with these Trotskyite infiltrators in the military. But Trump is not the man to do it, right? The more I hear about these people, the more I understand where Stalin was coming from. Like, I see now why Stalin was like, Trotskyists have to be removed root and branch. Even anybody who I even think might sympathize with this fucking infiltrator has to be removed from the equation. And you see it now in the United States, why Stalin did what he did. And, you know, I'm saying this on the record, but it's okay because we live in the kind of country. People will be more offended at me quoting vaguely a movie with Hitler in it 5 minutes ago than they will be at me currently right now defending Stalin's actual killings of real people. You know, you see that, right, Dan?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I know why you said one name and not the other one.
Yeah, you notice I say Stalin's name and not the other guy.
The other guy.
Go watch a new World War II movie and it's just like it's Will Ferrell and what's his name playing Hitler and Mussolini. It's the other guy. Mark Wahlberg is the other guy. I mean, I'm probably gonna have to like trim this down, but
again, back to the central topic of this episode, this election that may never end. I know a lot of people are very hesitant to dabble in conspiracy theories. But again, this is like Operation Crossfire Hurricane. This is like the election. You don't have to have a bunch of people get on a Zoom call and get marching orders. When a bunch of people have interests that line up against one guy, it's not like a bunch of people. They literally have one thing. There's this one guy we're all trying to get rid of. So everyone just kind of knows what to do. You know, you take your opportunity, and when you see it, you take it. So if my job is I'm an ambassador and I have to talk to Trump about, you know, the troop levels in Syria, nobody has to come to me and say, you should lie to him. I just go, wait, what if I just lied to him? And then I just do it. And no one has to tell me that because I know it's my job to stop. And then meanwhile, someone over here says, what if I just – no one has to tell them, hey, could you leak this fake story to the New York Times where you say that he called somebody losers and suckers? Nobody has to tell you to do that. You go, what if I just told this reporter this shit to help out the other guy? Nobody has to tell you, hey, Marcel, when you're putting those ballots into the machine, after they've gone through, don't throw them away. Just put them through again. Keep putting them through. Put them through 10 times because the machine can't tell the difference. So just take those Biden ballots and just put them in there until somebody walks over here, then throw them away. Nobody has to tell you to do that. You just do it, and you see if anybody notices because everybody just knows their job is to stop this guy, this other guy.
Yep. I mean, there were pictures of
and you keep seeing it
of ballot counters counting ballots with their Biden-Harris face masks.
Oh. So I saw on CNN they posted the Georgia Recount video, and that guy Brian Stelter, who I can't believe is a real person. I really don't believe he's a person in the sense that, like, you know how people have that debate about like pro-life people, and then people like yourself have the debate about like when is the whatever you call it fetus, you probably call it a parasite. When is it a person, right? At what point would it be morally wrong to kill it? I feel like for Brian Stelter, there is no point. Like if somebody hurt him, I would not care. I'm not saying they should do it. I'm just saying I wouldn't be morally opposed to it. But he was on TV showing us live footage of the Georgia recounts. And then he basically said, I forget exactly how he put it, but it was a shitty thing about how like we're doing this transparently and we're putting this live feed up on our website so you guys can watch this ridiculous, unnecessary recount, even though we know it's a complete fake thing. So you even have to recount this because you guys are just making it up. But fine, here you go. We're going to be transparent so that you liars can pretend, can stop pretending that this wasn't transparent. And I look at the footage behind him, and it's security camera footage of a gymnasium, and there's tape. I guess there were people counting votes. I fucking couldn't tell what the fuck was going on. But the idea that I could tell, all you can see is the backs of those people's heads, and it looks like, I guess, they're shuffling papers around. The idea that that's transparent. And I'm going, oh, well, that shows they're not. What is it that they think the claim is? They think the claim is that people are physically, I don't know, printing ballots off a printing press.
What would voting fraud look like?
The guy at that
camera
table, can't see what the fuck he's doing, is writing down different numbers than what the numbers are, or claiming that the papers say different things. Or he's taking the ones that say Trump, and he's going, oh, shit, that one doesn't have a signature. Oh, this Biden one does. I guess. I don't know. I'm fucking 20 yards away watching it on a shitty webcam. The idea that is supposed to make anybody go, oh, I'm okay. All my fears are gone. I'm comfortable with this. It's fucking ridiculous.
It reminds me of too how Republicans were trying to prove that Hunter Biden was a pedophile by just showing pictures of him with adult women, and it's like, yeah,
it's the same. Exactly, it's the same.
How exactly does this picture show what you're saying? It says, like, it just somehow does.
Yeah, I saw that all over the internet 2 weeks ago. People going, look at this picture of Hunter Biden's dick, and
it proves he's a pedophile.
It proves he's a pedophile. And you go, see anything in there that would prove that? But why do you keep?
Okay, I haven't seen it, but I think I remember someone saying that there was there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They kept going. People have said, who said this? And then they would show me a clip of someone on Twitter who I've never. Hey, I looked at these pictures, and some of them have stuff in there that I'm not going to describe, but let me tell you, it's bad. And then they go, we all know what that means. No, they couldn't find anybody on camera who had a name and a face making an actual claim. But then if you asked them for evidence, they would just send you pictures of Hunter Biden's dick. And you'd be like, I don't think that's evidence. Like, I'm not a Biden guy, so I'm not, but I just don't see what, I think you're making the wrong claim. I think you should claims you can prove. And then they'd go, fine. You want more pictures of his dick? Fine. Here, I got more. And I'm like, I don't want any more pictures of his dick. And they're like, but you seem to, you must. And then send you 5 more. And then 5 minutes later, you get an anonymous message from someone who's like, you fucking idiot. The proof is right there. Blah, blah, blah. And you go, all right.
The proof is right there in front of you, but they set up this buffet of lies.
What's the proof? And then
another picture of Hunter Biden's dick.
Lucy with the football again. It's another picture.
Oh, God.
And then I'm supposed to believe these people aren't just as delusional as the never Trump other side when they're sitting there they're like Pepe Sylvia, but the fucking corkboard with the string all over it is just pictures of Hunter Biden's dick. And all over the place. Pictures of his dick, pictures of his dick, pictures of a meth pipe, picture of his dick, meth pipe. And they go, look, he's a pedophile. And I'm like, I'm looking at it. I'm not seeing what you're seeing. Is there something behind those pictures? If I tore them down, is there something with the dick pictures? And it's the same thing now where they go, there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with this election. It looks great. Look at this. And they show you a fucking that footage that they show you on the local news when they have the guy up in the weather copter and showing you the traffic when it's snowing.
Yeah, boom.
It's just covered in condensation, and you can't see it's in black and white.
See, this debunks voter fraud. It's like, how? It's just
and they go, oh, look at that. That's and you always go, yeah, I don't. Can you go back to the guy who just tells me how many inches? I don't know what that image you're showing me is of. I guess it's the snow coming down. I can't see shit. It's the same thing. They go, oh, look at this. Look at them count. Okay, I guess for all I fucking know, those people were sitting at empty tables, shuffling around blank pieces of paper. Or they're fucking mannequins because I couldn't even see any movement. I don't know what I'm supposed to be seeing. And I'm also not convinced that if you let me sit directly behind a person counting ballots, that I'd be able to tell the difference between somebody doing their job properly and somebody doing something nefarious.
Yep.
Maybe a professional, who knows this would know, but I know for a fact if you gave me live footage with, an overhead like somebody who does YouTube product reviews, where they have the camera that points right down at the table, and I could see the ballots, I would have no fucking way of knowing what, because I would see them take the ballot and move it over there, and then even if they could show me where they were tallying them, I don't know, one, that I could follow it that fast, and two, I don't know what a legitimate ballot is and isn't. How do I know? You have to fill out the bubble. I don't know exactly what level of bubble not filled out means that the ballot has to be thrown away. But I do know that if I was counting them, and if it was Ron Paul versus, George Bush, and the George Bush ballot, one of them, the bubble, I'd probably go, this one's not. But the Ron Paul one, if it could go either way, I'd probably go, I can tell what it says. It looks like Ron Paul to me. You don't have to have a nefarious agenda to be biased. And again, you don't have to have a big plan to just have a bunch of fucking really biased people who are all going to say, oh, okay, that one has a little smudge, but I can tell it's clearly a Biden vote. And then they see a Trump one with the same smudge, and they will honestly, you could hook them up to a fucking lie detector, and they will say, yeah, that one is not as good as that other one. That one's not as clear, so I have to throw it away. And they'll be telling the truth, because that's how your brain works. The ballots that say the things you want them to say, you're going to be more favorable towards. And I don't know how we're supposed to check this. So I went to vote this year. Have you voted?
No, I didn't vote.
Have you ever voted?
I voted once in 2016 for Donald Trump and no one else.
Oh, so you're one of those Biden people that just votes for the one guy. So I went to vote for Kanye because I saw him on Joe Rogan, and I felt like it would be nice for him to get votes. So I said, I'll go vote for him. But I mainly did it because I have not voted since 2012 when I voted in the primary for Ron Paul, which, we all know how that turned out. So I went to vote just to see, because I suspected that this would be a stolen election. So I said, I haven't even been to a voting booth in 5 years or something. Let me go and see what this process looks like from the outside as a citizen. And here's what the process looks like if you've never gone. I'll tell you. You walk into a high school gymnasium, and I walk up to a table, and I tell them my address. They go, are you? And they say a name that was not my name, but it was the name of my roommate. Mm-hmm. And then I said, no. And they said, oh, are you? And they said, my other roommate. And I said, no. And then they said, oh, are you? And then I said, I'm Dan. And I told them my last name. And then they said, oh, okay, here you are. And they handed me a ballot. I didn't have to prove that I was that person. And in fact, I could have said yes, that I was my roommate, and they wouldn't have known, even though I looked nothing like my roommate. I could have said, yeah, that's me. I'm him. And they would have handed me a fucking ballot. So I said I was me, and they took my word for it and gave me a piece of paper. Another thing I noticed is I guess I'm a registered Republican because I could see my name on the voter roll. I was the only one on the whole piece of paper that had an affiliation. It said my name, and then at the end it said R. All the other ones said the name and then said nothing. So already I know that in some way my ballot was marked. That they said, oh, this guy's not one of us. Now, you can say I'm paranoid, but I'm telling you, literally all of them said just a name, and then the other side of the column was blank. Mine said a name with a little R, which I assume meant Republican, because I voted in the Republican primary for Ron Paul.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, they now look at this list. They know which people are what. And they know that I was the only one on the page that they could tell my ballot out from the other ones. And then I went into a little booth. Actually, it wasn't even a booth. It was just like a divider. And I filled it out. And then I walked up to this old lady who had her dog with her. And she told me to put it into this machine that looked almost exactly like a shredder.
Okay, now.
No, I'm not. Actually, that's not a joke. It was some sort of ballot reading machine, but it fundamentally looks like a shredder, but, because it's just a thing with a slot that you put paper in that takes it the way like a Coke machine takes $1. Like you put the ballot in and then it goes in and pulls it through. Now, what happens after that? I don't know. Is that thing just a sophisticated looking trash barrel? Maybe. Does that go into some fucking counting room beneath the school where there's elves counting these things? Maybe. Did that just go right into a fucking fire? I don't know. And then they just tell me on the TV who won. That's my, as a citizen, that's your thing. You go in, you fill out a piece of paper, you hand it to someone, and then they go, okay, turn on the